She's my forever. No matter what the world says they don't understand. They never have. From the moment I told them about her, the whispers started, the judgment, the sideways glances. Are you sure about this? She's not the right one for you. You can do better. Every word felt like a knife, not because I doubted her, but because I knew they would never see her the way I did. They saw numbers. They saw differences. They saw obstacles. But me, I saw her. The woman who had changed my life. The woman who had shown me what love truly meant. The woman I would stand beside, no matter what. Because no amount of judgment, no amount of doubt, no amount of pressure was going to change the truth. She's my forever. And nothing would make me walk away. The first time I knew she was the one, it wasn't love at first sight. No. It was something deeper than that. It was the way she spoke. Like every word had meaning. It was the way she carried herself. Not trying to impress, not trying to fit in, just existing in her own world. Completely unbothered. It was the way she looked at me, like she saw right through me, past the bravado, past the walls, straight into the parts of me I never let anyone see. She didn't fall for some version of me I created to impress her. She fell for me. And that's when I knew. This wasn't just another love story. This was it. But the world didn't see it that way. People talk, they always do. And when they found out about her, the looks changed. The questions started. The warnings came. She's older than you. She's had a life before you. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. Like love was something that could be measured in years. Like happiness had an expiration date. Like the only kind of love that mattered was the one that made sense to everyone else. But they were wrong, because what we had, it wasn't about logic. It was about connection. It was about how we understood each other without words. It was about how she made me feel safe in a way no one else ever had. It was about how every moment with her felt like home. So no, I wasn't walking away. Not because of them. Not because of their doubts. Not because they couldn't see what I saw. Because at the end of the day, they didn't have to understand it. They just had to accept it. She's my forever. And that's not changing. I know what love looks like. I know what real happiness feels like. And I refuse to spend my life chasing what the world tells me I should want, when I already have everything I need standing right in front of me. So let them talk. Let them judge. Let them doubt. Because while they waste their time trying to figure out why I love her, I'll be busy loving her. She knew. She had always known that no matter how much I tried to shield her from it, the world would always have something to say. She saw the way they looked at us when we walked together, how their eyes lingered just a little too long, filled with questions they never dared to ask. She heard the whispers when they thought she wasn't listening, the doubts, the quiet judgments disguised as concern. What does he even see in her? He'll regret this one day. She's holding him back. I thought maybe it didn't affect her, that she was stronger than their words, that she had learned to block them out the way I had. But I was wrong. Because one night, when the weight of it all became too much, she finally asked me, "Do you ever wonder if they're right?" Her doubt was my greatest fear. I felt something twist inside me at her words. Not because I ever doubted us, but because she did. Because after everything, after every fight we had won together, she was still letting them get inside her head. I reached for her hand, gripping it tightly, forcing her to look at me. "No," I said, my voice firm, leaving no room for hesitation. She bit her lip, looking away. "But you will one day." And that broke me, because she wasn't asking if I would leave her now. She was afraid of the day I might wake up and realize I had made a mistake, that I would see her the way they did, that I would start believing the doubts they planted in my mind, that I would walk away, not because I wanted to, but because the world convinced me I had to. The only answer she needed to hear. I didn't let go of her hand. I didn't let her pull away, didn't let her sink into the fear they had tried so hard to create. Instead, I took a deep breath, steadied my voice, and told her the truth she needed to hear. They don't know what we've been through, what we've built, what we've fought for. They don't know the way you make me feel, the way I look at you and see my entire future. I ran my thumb across her fingers, willing her to believe me, and they never will, because they're not us. This is our story, not theirs, and I won't let them write the ending. Her breath hitched, her eyes softened, and finally she whispered, "Promise me." I leaned in, pressing my forehead against hers. "I swear it, you're my forever, no matter what the world says." And just like that, she smiled, because this time she finally believed me. Her smile was soft, hesitant, like she wanted to believe me, but was still afraid. And I understood why. Because people like us, we don't get the easy kind of love. We don't get the silent approval, the effortless acceptance, the smooth road. We get the stares, the whispers, the constant need to prove that what we have is real. But I was done proving anything to anyone, because at the end of the day, they didn't matter. Only she did. Facing the world together, she leaned into me, resting her head against my chest. I could feel her heartbeat, steady but uncertain. "What if it never stops?" she murmured. I knew what she meant, the doubt, the judgment, the endless cycle of people questioning what was never theirs to question. I sighed, wrapping my arms around her. "Then let them talk." She pulled back slightly, looking up at me, searching my face for something, maybe reassurance, maybe strength. "And if it gets worse?" I cupped her face gently, forcing her to hold my gaze. "Then we get stronger." Her lips parted slightly, a breath catching in her throat. And then finally, I saw it. Not doubt, not fear, but trust. Trust in me, trust in us. Trust that no matter what, I wasn't going anywhere, because walking away was never an option. I reached for her hand, intertwining our fingers, and whispered, "The world doesn't decide who I love. I do." A slow, beautiful smile spread across her face, one that told me she finally understood that she wasn't alone in this fight, that we were in this together, that nothing, not the world, not the doubts, not even time itself, could break what we had. And as I held her close, feeling the warmth of her body against mine, I knew we had already won. Because when love is real, it doesn't need approval. It just needs two people willing to fight for it. And I would fight for her forever. The weight on her shoulders seemed lighter now. She wasn't tense anymore. She wasn't pulling away. She wasn't questioning if I would wake up one day and regret choosing her. But I could still see it in her eyes, the quiet fear that hadn't fully left, because the world had tried too hard to convince her that love, our love, wasn't meant to last, and she had spent too long believing them. But I wasn't them, and I would spend forever proving that to her. The first real step forward, she squeezed my hand, her fingers laced tightly with mine. "So we stopped caring?" she asked, tilting her head slightly. I smiled. "No, we stopped letting them control us." She let out a breath, one that felt like she had been holding it in for years. Then she nodded. Slowly, surely, like she was making a choice too. Not to hide, not to run, not to let the world's expectations decide what we were allowed to have. And in that moment, I knew we weren't just surviving this, we were owning it. The test we didn't see coming, but life doesn't let you breathe for long. Because just when I thought we had broken free of the doubts, reality reminded us that the world wasn't done testing us yet. It happened when we stepped into a cafe. A few days later, we weren't doing anything special. Just a quiet afternoon, just coffee and conversation, just us. But then we saw them. a group of people who knew me, people who had warned me, people who had said things about her when they thought she wasn't listening, people who never wanted us to work. Their eyes flicked to us immediately. And then came the looks, the whispered words, the careful smirks as if they had already decided how this story would end. She stiffened beside me, her grip on my hand loosening, because she felt it too. The way they didn't see her as my equal, the way they were waiting for me to finally realize I had made a mistake, the way they expected me to crack under pressure. I felt the anger rise in my chest, not for me, for her, because no matter how strong she was, no one deserved to be made to feel less. And right then I had a choice, to ignore it, to pretend I didn't notice, to avoid a confrontation just to make it easier, or to make it clear that their opinions didn't matter. The moment that proved everything, I turned to her, ignoring them, blocking them out, because in the end, it wasn't about them, it was about her. So I did the only thing I could. I lifted her hand to my lips, pressing a soft kiss against her fingers, and whispered, "You're mine. No one else's opinion matters." She inhaled sharply, her eyes wide, not because she didn't believe me, but because in that moment she finally believed in us. And as I looked back at the people who thought they had the power to break us, I saw something shift. They weren't smirking anymore, because they knew we weren't backing down, we weren't hiding, we weren't breaking. And in that moment, standing there, hand in hand, we won. Because love, the real kind, it doesn't crumble under pressure, it thrives in spite of it.